Okay, sir. Sir, host disabled participant sharing.
1 minute.
हाँ.
Okay, so can you share the PPT now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And you also need to turn on your video, okay?
Sir, network issue, sir. It
Okay,
won't load, sir.
okay,
PPT.
no problem.
Okay.
You can, yes, you can
Shall I
start.
start, sir?
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Swati, and today I am going to present about MBA. Timeline of MBA: a Master of Business Administration, also Masters in Business Administration. It is a graduate degree focusing on business administration and investment management. Wharton Business School at the University of Pennsylvania, which was founded in the year 1881 by an American entrepreneur, Joseph Wharton, started giving Bachelor of Finance degree to aspiring entrepreneurs and managers. Mr. Watson's vision was to technically equip young graduates with elementary business knowledge to face the complex economic situation that he thought was unfolding. Subsequently, it started an international MBA course as well. Nearly 20 years later, in the year 1900, Tuck School of Business, working under Dartmouth College, was founded by Edward Tuck. It was the first legitimate B school which awarded a one of its kind advanced business degree known as Master of Commerce. It was the undisputed predecessor to the present day MBA degree. The MBA degree soon began to spread around the US. The Harvard Graduate School of Business Administration established the first MBA program in 1908 with 50 faculty members, 33 regular students, and 47 special students. Its first year curriculum was based on Frederick Winslow Taylor's scientific management. The number of MBA students at Harvard increased quickly from 80 in 1908, over 300 in 1920, and 1070 in 1930. At this time, only American universities offered MBAs. Other countries preferred that people learn business on the job. In 1921, Shanghai University of Commerce became the first Chinese business school to offer MBA. By 1930, the number of schools in the United States reached 30. History of MBA: during the earliest part of the 20th started becoming industrialized. Training in accounting and bookkeeping had been offered in colleges, but the Industrial Revolution brought about the need for more people to work in different capacities. Specific standards for business were rapidly being developed. Labor was now being managed by machinery rather than manually, and the labor force had to evolve to develop new skills to effectively manage their companies. Developing management techniques. With so many new businesses and revolutionary manufacturing, company owners began to search for more effective management techniques, incorporating science and business practices. Colleges and universities had to incorporate degree programs that would provide students with the skills to succeed in business. Some of the issues which had to be addressed were divisions of specialization and labor tasks, a hierarchy that's well maintained with a compatible relationship between management and employees, and specific rules that govern each company. The concept of placing business management on the same level as medicine or law wasn't well received in the early 20th century. However, as corporations grew, there became a need for skilled management professionals, and colleges and universities started their own business schools. Educators realized that business schools had to provide formal education to prepare students for leadership positions. Primarily, an MBA degree allows one to specialize in the following papers. That's finance, accounting, marketing, human resources, economics, business administration. New MBA specializations are entrepreneurship, leadership, e-commerce, healthcare, media science, and hospitality. MBA in India. In India, there are over 3,000 B schools. With the economy constantly changing, there is a change in the business education system too. The MBA in India is considered as a symbol of excellence and distinction. In 1953, the Indian Institute of Social Welfare and Business Management, IISWBM Kolkata, was founded and it was the first college to confer an MBA degree in India. Though in 1949, the Xavier's Labor Relations Institute, Jamshedpur was established, but it did not awarded MBA degree since its foundation. Present of MBA in India. B schools in India have come a long way from 20th century when they started and became a rage. In the early 2000s, business schools in India proliferated. The MBA programs in Indian business schools have evolved over the years and are of high quality. The MBA degree in Indian business schools equips students with relevant industry skills, prepares them for leadership roles, and enhances their capabilities. The business schools in India are today are offering challenging and diverse MBA specializations, world-class faculty, excellent pedagogy, adequate and modern resources, and attractive pay. Today, initiatives by Government of India like Make in India, Startup India are encouraging entrepreneurship and promoting Indian manufacturing. According to the report, India produces above 3 lakh management graduates annually. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So everyone, please unmute and give a big round of applause.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Welcome. Okay. So can stop sharing now.
Sir.
Okay, so that was quite interesting, Swati. Okay, she really covered about the MBA program since 1880s. Okay, so how it all started, what are the objectives of starting an MBA program, and how it evolved over a period of time. Okay, then the establishment of MBA college in India. Okay, and how they proliferated in late 2000. Okay, so as per the data, there are about 3,000 MBA colleges and around 3 lakh MBA postgraduates come out of the colleges and universities every year. Okay, so these are really well, Swati, but it's if we are going to make a PowerPoint presentation, always remember that there should be bullet points. Okay, for each paragraph, whatever you read, there should be only bullet point, and the remaining part of the explanation you have to read it out. You can refer a printout, or you can by heart and explain the bullet point. You cannot copy and paste the whole paragraph into PPT. Okay, and read it as it is. That is not a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, you should remember this. Do not repeat.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but definitely overall, okay, definitely it gives us a very good idea about what MBA program is, what are the objectives of starting MBA colleges. Okay, basically as the number of businesses started increasing and the business complexities started increasing, okay, so they needed a trained manpower to manage businesses more profitably. Okay, that is the reason why MBA program or MBA college started. Okay, so the objective of MBA college is to prepare a manager, develop a manager who can think and make decisions. Okay, and that skill is developed by way of case study discussions, the major mode of teaching in premier MBA institutes. The more you read, the more it will make you think. The more you think, okay, you will have different alternatives. Then you have to evaluate the alternatives and make a good decision. Okay, so in any field, maybe finance, HR, or marketing. Okay. So now, after this micro presentation, let's move on to our syllabus. Okay, so I hope you remember what we were discussing. Students, can you see these PowerPoint slides?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So we are into unit 3. Okay, the first function or first, okay, not exactly first, second or third, one among the 3 duties of finance manager, or one among the 3 functions of financial management is making long-term investment decisions. Okay, so in the previous unit, unit 2, chapter number 9, we learned about capital budgeting and evaluation techniques. In this chapter, okay, we are learning the concept and measurement of cost of capital, as cost of capital is also a decision criterion used to evaluate and select the long-term investment projects. So far we have learned about the importance of cost of capital, definition of cost of capital, okay, and computation of cost of capital. We have learned there are 2 steps. Okay, computation of specific costs of different sources of finance, like these: cost of debt, cost of preference, cost of equity, and cost of retained earnings. And then step 2 is calculation of the overall cost of capital by combining these specific costs. Okay, so far we have learned, okay, properly what is this each source of finance and how to compute the cost of these specific sources of finances or specific cost of capital. So cost of debt, that cost of perpetual debt and cost of redeemable debt, cost of preference capital, redeemable as well as irredeemable, then cost of equity capital. Okay, so using a dividend approach as well as a capital asset pricing model approach. Okay, so then we were into step 2. Okay, I hope you can recall. It was a quick recap. I hope it will make you understand what exactly we were learning before I1. So step 2, calculation of overall cost of capital by combining specific costs. Okay, so there is a method. Okay, there is a procedure to combine the specific costs. For example, cost of debt, cost of preference, cost of equity, and cost of retained earnings. Okay, so only that way you will get the proper or correct cost of capital or overall cost of capital. The cost of capital means the overall composite cost of capital defined as weighted average cost of each specific type of fund. Okay. So I think yeah. Till here, okay. So we learned a little bit about what is the weighted average cost of capital. Okay, then steps involved in computation of overall cost of capital. I would like to recall steps involved in computation of overall cost of capital. First, assign weights to specific costs. So when I say assign weights, there are 2 approaches or 2 types of weights which can be assigned. One is marginal weight and another is historical weight. Okay, then multiplying the cost of each source. Okay, once we compute, or if it's readily given, simply I have to multiply the cost of each source by the appropriate weights. Then dividing the total weighted cost of capital by total weights. We'll learn, understand more, okay, when we solve a numerical problem. But this is also important. So first let us go through this part. Step 1, assignment of weights.